What's up, Switch fans? Welcome back to SwitchTop. Today we're diving into the best JRPGs you can play right now on your Nintendo Switch. If you love great stories, cool battle systems, and adventures that'll keep you playing for hours, this list is for you. Let's jump right in with our countdown. Lunar Remastered Collection brings two classic RPGs from the 90s to the Switch. Lunar, Silver Star Story, and Eternal Blue. You'll follow Alex, a boy who dreams of becoming like his hero, the legendary Dragon Master Dyne, as he sets off on an adventure that grows way bigger than he expected. The battles are turn-based, but with a twist. Where you stand on the battlefield matters a lot. You need to think about positioning your characters because enemies can hit multiple party members if they're standing close together. The games have animated cutscenes and voice acting that was super rare when they first came out. What I love about Lunar is how the characters feel like real friends on a journey together, with lots of funny moments between all the drama and adventure.
Here I come!
Dodge this!
Ys Origin is a fast-paced action RPG that takes place 700 years before the rest of the Y series. You can pick from 3 different characters: Unica, who fights with an axe, Hugo, who uses magic from a distance, or a third secret character I won't spoil. The story follows them climbing a massive tower called the Devil's Tower to find the goddesses who protected their land but suddenly disappeared. The gameplay is all about quick reflexes. You'll be dodging, jumping, and attacking with simple but fun combos. Boss fights are huge and challenging, often filling the screen with attacks you need to avoid. As you progress, you'll find new equipment and abilities that make you stronger and let you access new areas of the tower. The game is pretty short compared to most JRPGs, but that makes it perfect if you don't have 100 hours to spare. No Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch feels like you're playing inside a Studio Ghibli movie. You play as Oliver, a young boy who travels to a magical world to try to save his mom. In this world, everyone has a soulmate in Oliver's world, and helping people with broken hearts becomes a big part of your journey. The battle system mixes real-time movement with menu commands, and you capture and raise creatures called familiars to fight alongside you, kind of like Pokemon. You can switch between controlling Oliver, who uses magic spells, and your familiars who have different fighting styles. The game has towns to explore, side quests to complete, and a magical book called The Wizard's Companion that's filled with spells and stories about the world. The hand-drawn cutscenes are gorgeous, and the music was composed by Joe Hisaishi, who does the music for Studio Ghibli films.
Stay calm now. Here goes!
The Legend of Heroes, Trails Through Daybreak, also known as Trails in the Sky, kicks off an epic series with the story of Estelle and Joshua, adoptive siblings who become bracers, kind of like problem-solving adventurers who help people. The game is set in the Kingdom of Liberal, where they travel from city to city, solving problems and uncovering a much bigger conspiracy. The turn-based battle system happens on a grid where positioning matters. Attacks have different ranges and areas of effect. A cool orbment system lets you customize characters by slotting in different crystals to gain new spells and abilities. What makes this game amazing is how alive the world feels. NPCs have their own stories that change as the game progresses, and talking to everyone reveals tons of little details about the world. There's so much dialogue and world building that you really feel like you're visiting a real place with history and politics.
Thanks, pal. A chance! I'll dice you up! Keep it up!
There!
Neo, The World Ends With You takes place in a stylized version of Tokyo's Shibuya district where Rindo and his friends are forced to play the Deadly Reapers game. They need to complete daily missions or face erasure. The combat is super unique. Each character on your team uses different pins, like badges, that give them attacks assigned to different buttons. So in battle, you're pressing different buttons to activate different characters' attacks all at once, creating crazy combos. As you win battles, you get new pins with different powers, like fire attacks, slashing moves, or psychic blasts. Outside of battle, you'll be exploring Shibuya, solving puzzles, and eating at real-life restaurants to gain stat boosts. The game has an amazing soundtrack mixing rock, hip-hop, and electronic music, and a distinct art style that looks like a modern anime. The story tackles themes of personal growth and how people change each other. Atelier Ryza follows a small-town girl named Ryza who dreams of adventure and discovers alchemy after meeting a mysterious traveler. Unlike many JRPGs, there's no world-ending threat. It's a coming-of-age story about friends exploring their island and uncovering its secrets. The heart of the game is the alchemy system where you gather materials from monsters and the environment, then combine them to create items, weapons, bombs, and healing potions. The more you understand about the materials you use, the better items you can make. Combat happens in real time, where you can pause to select skills, and your crafted items play a huge role in battle strategies. The game runs on a time system where some events only happen at certain times of day, and building relationships with your friends unlocks new recipes and areas. It's like a warm, cozy adventure with beautiful summer vibes and lots of heart.
そこ行くよ今だそれそれ
Tales of Vesperia stars Yuri Lowell, a former knight who lives in the lower quarter of the capital city. After someone steals a device that controls the city's water, Yuri chases after the thief and gets wrapped up in a journey that questions what justice really means. The battle system is action-packed. You directly control one character while your party members are handled by AI. You can perform normal attacks, special moves called artes, and even link up attacks with your teammates for big combos. As you fight, you'll learn new skills from weapons that you can then use regardless of which weapon you have equipped. Outside of battle, you can watch skits, little conversations between party members that flesh out their personalities and relationships. The game has a cel-shaded anime look that still holds up great today, and this definitive edition includes content that was originally only in the Japanese PS3 version.
The cry of victory! Repeat?
Triangle Strategy combines tactical battles with a story about politics, war, and tough choices. You play as Serenoa, heir to House Wolffort, caught in the middle of a conflict between three nations fighting over salt and iron resources. What makes this game special is the choice system. At key moments, your party votes on major decisions that completely change the story path. You can try to persuade your companions to vote your way by finding information that supports your position. Battles take place on grid-based maps where height advantage, flanking, and elemental weaknesses all matter. Each character has a fixed class with unique abilities, from ice mages to falcon knights who can fly over obstacles. Between fights, you explore locations from an isometric view, talking to people and finding resources. The HD 2D art style mixes pixel characters with modern lighting and effects, creating a look that feels both nostalgic and modern.
捕まえてみる
Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake brings the classic NES game into the modern era with gorgeous visuals that blend pixel art characters with 3D environments. You play as the child of a legendary hero who disappeared while trying to defeat the archfiend Baramos. Now it's your turn to finish what your parents started. The vocational system is the heart of the game. You can recruit party members and change their jobs between warriors, mages, merchants, and more. Each vocation learns different skills and spells, and even after changing jobs, characters keep some abilities from their previous vocations. Battles are traditional turn-based combat where you select actions for your whole party before the round plays out. The world is huge and open, with lots of towns, dungeons, and secrets to find without much hand-holding. Despite being originally from 1988, the game feels fresh with quality of life improvements like visible enemies instead of random encounters. Super Mario RPG brings back the SNES classic with beautiful updated graphics while keeping the charm of the original. Mario teams up with Bowser, Peach, and new friends Mallow and Geno to stop a new villain called Smithy who's taken over Bowser's castle. The battle system makes turn-based combat more engaging by adding timed button presses. Hit the button at the right moment during attacks to do more damage or when defending to reduce damage. Each character has unique special moves that use flower points this game's MP, like Mario's fireball jumps or Bowser's crushing attacks. Outside of battle, you explore 3D environments by jumping on platforms and solving puzzles, blending Mario's platforming with RPG elements. The story is full of humor with funny moments like Bowser joining your team because someone took over his castle. Even if you've never played an RPG before, this game is super easy to get into with its simple systems and familiar Mario characters. Trials of Mana is a full 3D remake of a classic Super Nintendo game that never came to the West until recently. You pick 3 characters out of 6 possible heroes, each with their own starting point and reasons for fighting the forces of evil. The story follows your team trying to reach the mana tree to prevent evil factions from using its power. Combat happens in real time, where you run around, dodge attacks, and hit enemies with combos and special abilities. You can switch between your 3 party members anytime during battle. As you level up, you'll get to choose class changes that completely change how your characters look and fight, like turning a thief into a ninja or a wanderer into a warrior monk. Each character has a different storyline, so playing with different teams gives you new scenes and perspectives, making it worth playing multiple times. Valkyria Chronicles 4 takes place in an alternate version of World War II with a unique mix of fantasy and military technology. You control Squad E, a group of soldiers from the Federation fighting against the Imperial Alliance. The battle system is super interesting. It's part turn-based strategy and part third-person shooter. On your turn, you use action points to control individual soldiers. When you select a unit, the view switches to behind that character, and you run around in real time, taking aim and firing at enemies. Different soldier types play completely differently. Scouts can move far but have weak guns. Snipers can hit from across the map. Engineers repair tanks and resupply ammo. And grenadiers fire mortars over walls. Your tank is like a super powerful unit that can turn the tide of battle.
Here I go. Whew. Thank goodness. Enemy base occupied.
Ys 8 follows the adventures of red-haired swordsman Adal Kristin, whose ship gets attacked by a giant sea creature and crashes on a mysterious island called Siren. You need to find other survivors, build a village, and figure out how to escape while discovering the island's secrets. The gameplay is fast-paced action combat where you control one character at a time, switching between 3 party members on the fly, and use different attack types against different enemy weaknesses. Some monsters are weak to slash attacks, others to strike or pierce damage. As you explore the island, you'll find materials for crafting weapons and items, rescue more castaways who give you new services in your village, and break down walls and climb cliffs to reach new areas. At night, you'll sometimes need to defend your village from monster attacks in tower defense style battles.
Delicious.
Bravely Default 2 follows 4 heroes brought together by fate. Seth, a sailor who survives a terrible storm. Gloria, a princess whose kingdom was destroyed. Elvis, a scholar searching for a special book. And Adele, a mercenary with her own secrets. Together, they're trying to collect 4 elemental crystals that have fallen into the wrong hands. The battle system puts a twist on turn-based combat with the Brave and Default system. Default lets you skip your turn to store up Brave points and boost your defense, while Brave lets you take up to 4 actions in one turn at the cost of those points. The job system lets you equip both a main job and a sub-job, mixing and matching abilities from different classes like Black Mage, Vanguard, Bard, or Gambler. There are 24 different jobs to master, each with unique outfits and skills.
私の番ね。ねい。やー。てやー。
我が輩の番だな。
Tokyo Mirage Sessions combines the worlds of Fire Emblem and Shin Megami Tensei in modern-day Tokyo, where pop idols are fighting evil. You play as Itsuki Aoi, who gets pulled into the entertainment industry after discovering he has the power to enter the idolosphere, a strange dimension where evil mirages are draining people's creative energy. Each character partners with a Fire Emblem hero like Chrome or Keita, who transforms into their weapons and costumes. Battles are turn-based with a big focus on hitting enemy weaknesses to trigger sessions. Combo attacks where your other party members jump in automatically for extra damage. As your characters get more famous as entertainers, they learn new skills through Radiant Unity. Side stories where they grow as performers through music videos, photo shoots, and acting gigs.
おっと。俺にもできる。なかなか一か八かで難しいかも。走れ、内藤。
Paper Mario. The 1000-Year Door has our flat paper hero searching for 7 crystal stars to open the legendary 1000-Year Door. Each chapter takes Mario to wildly different locations, from a fighting tournament to a haunted mansion to a train murder mystery. The battle system happens on a stage with an audience watching your fights. Timed button presses make your attacks stronger, and performing well makes the crowd grow, which gives you more star power for special moves. The audience might throw helpful items, or sometimes rocks if they're bored. Mario's partners each have unique abilities both in battle and while exploring, like a bomb buddy who can blow up cracked walls or a Yoshi who helps you cross gaps. Fire Emblem. 3 Houses puts you in the role of a professor at a military academy where students from 3 different nations train together. You choose one of the 3 houses to teach: the noble Blue Lions, the ambitious Black Eagles, or the laid-back Golden Deer. The game is split between tactical grid-based battles and school life, where you train students, build relationships, and explore the monastery. During battle, you move units across the map, keeping in mind weapon advantages, terrain effects, and special abilities. The permadeath system means characters who fall in battle battle stay dead unless you use the Divine Pulse feature to rewind time and try again. Between battles, you spend time teaching students to improve their skills, having tea parties to strengthen bonds, fishing, gardening, and uncovering the mysteries of the church and your own forgotten past.
I'm sorry.
Octopath Traveler 1 and 2 each feature 8 different characters with their own stories that you can play in any order. In the first game, you might be Primrose the Dancer seeking revenge, Cyrus the Scholar solving mysteries, or one of 6 others. In the sequel, you could be Throne the Thief, Temenos the Cleric investigating corruption, or any of the new cast. Both games share the same gorgeous HD 2D style, mixing pixel art characters with 3D environments and modern lighting effects. The combat system focuses on breaking enemy defenses by hitting their weaknesses with different weapon types or elements. Once an enemy is broken, they're stunned and take extra damage. Each character has a unique field ability, like Ulbrich challenging NPCs to duels, Tressa buying items from townspeople, or Oswald questioning people for information.
Prepare yourself.
Star Ocean. The second story remakes a PlayStation classic with beautiful new visuals that mix 2D pixel art characters with 3D environments. The story follows Claude, a space officer accidentally transported to an undeveloped planet, and Rena, a girl with mysterious healing powers who believes Claude is a legendary hero. You can choose which character to play as, changing some scenes, and which party members might join you. The combat system is action-based, happening in real time where you run around the battlefield, performing normal attacks, special moves, and spells while positioning yourself to avoid enemy attacks. The skill system lets you learn abilities like cooking, writing, art, and musicianship, which unlock various benefits like item creation or special scenes. One of the coolest features is the private action system. When entering towns, your party splits up and you can find them having their own adventures, which builds relationships between characters.
Back attack. I managed to break.
思ったより弱かったわね。嬉しい。
Final Fantasy XII takes place in Elusive, a world caught in a war between 2 empires. You play as Van, a street kid in the occupied city of Rabanastre who gets caught up in a resistance movement alongside sky pirates, disgraced knights, and a princess in hiding. The battle system is unlike other Final Fantasy games. It happens in the same field where you explore, with no transition to a battle screen. You can program your party's AI with gambits, if-then commands like if ally HP less than 50%, use Cure, or if enemy is weak to fire, use Fire Spell. This lets battles play out automatically based on your strategy, while you can jump in and take manual control anytime. The license board system lets you customize characters by spending points to unlock new abilities, spells, and equipment permissions on a giant board. The world is massive with tons of optional hunts where you track down unique monsters for rewards. Final Fantasy VII follows Cloud Strife, an ex-soldier turned mercenary who joins an eco-terrorist group called Avalanche to fight against the Shinra Electric Power Company that's draining the planet's life energy. The game uses an active time battle system where a bar fills up for each character, and when it's full, you can attack, use magic, summon powerful creatures, or use items. Each character can equip materia, magical orbs that slot into weapons and armor to give you different spells and abilities. As you play more with certain materia, they level up and get stronger. The game has a mix of futuristic technology and fantasy elements, with memorable locations like the massive city of Midgar with rich people living on plates above the slums. Even though the graphics are from the PlayStation 1 era, the story about identity, corporate greed, and saving the planet still hits hard today. Shin Megami Tensei V. Vengeance puts you in the shoes of a high school student who gets transported to a post-apocalyptic Tokyo called Da'at after a tunnel collapses. You fuse with a mysterious being and become a Nahobino, a forbidden being that's neither human nor demon. The game's all about recruiting demons by talking to them in battle and negotiating. You'll need to answer their questions correctly based on their personality to convince them to join you. Combat is turn-based, but with a press-turn system where hitting enemy weaknesses gives you extra actions, but missing or hitting resistances makes you lose turns. You can fuse demons together to create stronger ones that inherit skills from the demons used to make them. The world is open with lots of verticality for you to explore, jumping across destroyed buildings and finding secrets. The story tackles themes of order versus chaos, with your choices determining which of the multiple endings you'll get.
Thank you so much.
The 100 line, Last Defense Academy takes place in a world where monsters called deviants threaten humanity, and special academies train students to fight them using weapons powered by their souls. You play as a transfer student with a mysterious past who joins Class 0 at the prestigious Last Defense Academy. The battle system mixes turn-based commands with real-time action. You position your team of 3 students on a grid and unleash attacks that have different areas of effect, but you need to time button presses correctly to maximize damage or block enemy attacks. Between battles, you attend classes that raise your stats, hang out with classmates to learn their stories, and unlock special team attacks and take on missions around the academy grounds. The game has a calendar system where certain events only happen on specific days, so you need to manage your time wisely.
それがこの学園のリアルなんだから命も倫理もなり何としてでも100日間この学園を守り抜くそれが私たちの使命なのだから
Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition follows humanity after Earth gets destroyed in the crossfire of an alien war, with survivors escaping on a massive Ark ship that crashes on the planet Mira. You create your own character who joins Blade, an organization tasked with exploring Mira, finding a missing part of the ship called the Lifehold, and dealing with hostile alien races. The combat happens in real time, where your character auto-attacks when close to enemies, but you trigger special arts that have cooldowns and different effects like toppling enemies or healing allies. What makes exploration amazing is that you eventually get a mech called a Skell that lets you transform into a vehicle, fly across the map, and fight powerful monsters with crazy weapons. The planet Mira is huge with 5 distinct continents filled with breathtaking vistas and creatures ranging from tiny bugs to walking mountains.
Yes. Now tackle it up close. Assault!
Flame flow!
Appreciate it.
Flame grenade! Chrome armor!
Chained Echoes takes place in the land of Valandis, where 3 nations have been at war for generations. You control a group of unlikely heroes, including a sky pirate, a princess, and a mechanic, who get caught up in a conflict involving ancient weapons and a mysterious power called the Flames of Magic. The turn-based battle system has a unique overdrive gauge that shifts between different colored zones as you use skills. Staying in the yellow sweet spot gives you bonuses to damage and reduced mana costs, but using too many similar actions can push you into the red overheat zone where you're penalized. Outside of battle, you'll explore diverse areas from snowy mountains to dense forests, solve puzzles, and eventually pilot a mech called a Sky Armor that changes how you fight and explore. The game has a class system where characters can master different weapon types and skills, and a crafting system to create and upgrade equipment. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster brings 2 PlayStation classics to the Switch with updated graphics and conveniences like auto-save. These games are connected stories about rising up against corrupt empires, with the first following the son of an imperial general who discovers his father's betrayal and starts a rebellion, while the second follows childhood friends caught in a conflict between nations. What makes these games stand out is that you can recruit 108 different characters in each game. Some join your army, others open shops or mini-games, and many can fight in your 6-person battle party. Combat is turn-based with special team attacks when certain characters fight together, plus large-scale strategic army battles where you command units against enemy forces. You also build and improve your own headquarters that grows as more people join your cause. Persona 4. Golden puts you in the shoes of a high school student who moves to the rural town of Inaba for a year, only to get caught up in a murder mystery connected to a strange world inside TV screens. During the day, you live a normal school life, attending classes, joining clubs, working part-time jobs, and hanging out with friends. At night and on days off, you and your friends enter the TV world to rescue people and fight monsters called shadows. The battle system is turn-based, focusing on hitting enemy weaknesses to knock them down and unleash powerful all-out attacks. The game's unique hook is the social link system. Building relationships with different characters not only reveals their personal stories, but also powers up your ability to create and strengthen personas, which are like spiritual beings you summon in battle. Each persona has different abilities and weaknesses, and you can fuse them together to create stronger ones.
There are 2 enemies! Hang in there!
Persona!
That's it, Yosuke! 1 enemy down!
Persona!
Someone else's turn.
It's over!
Unicorn Overlord follows Prince Alan, the rightful heir to the throne of Fevrin, who was forced into exile when the evil Zenora Empire conquered his homeland. Now leading the Liberation Army, Alan travels across 5 nations to gather allies, free occupied territories, and reclaim his kingdom. The battle system blends tactics and automation in a unique way. You arrange your units in formations of up to 5 characters, set their positions and roles, then watch them execute your strategy against enemy formations in real time, though you can pause to use special abilities. Outside of battle, you travel across a huge world map, liberating towns that provide resources and unlock side quests, recruiting over 60 unique characters with different classes like knights, mages, and archers. A relationship system lets characters bond through shared battles and gift giving, unlocking powerful combo attacks.
I have you!
It's up to you. I shall protect you.
Dragon Quest XI-S follows the Luminary, a chosen hero marked by a glowing symbol on his hand, who must gather allies and stop the dark forces threatening the world of Airdrea. The game sticks to traditional turn-based combat where you select actions for your party members from menus, but adds features like the PEP system where characters occasionally enter powered-up states that enable special team attacks. Each character specializes in different weapons and abilities. The main hero uses swords and healing magic. Eric is a thief who focuses on daggers and stealing. Jade uses spears for powerful physical attacks and so on. You can ride monsters in the overworld, craft equipment at forges, and collect tiny medals to trade for rare items. The Definitive Edition adds a 2D mode that lets you play the entire game in a classic pixel art style, plus new character stories and a time travel plot that connects to past Dragon Quest games.
Fight and fight some more! Phew.
Persona 5 Royal puts you in the shoes of a high school student who was falsely accused of assault and sent to live in Tokyo on probation. You soon discover the ability to enter the metaverse, a world created by people's distorted desires, where you and your friends form the Phantom Thieves to steal the corrupted hearts of adults abusing their power. By day, you live a normal student life, attending classes, working part-time jobs, hanging out with friends, and exploring Tokyo. By night, you infiltrate elaborate palaces, physical manifestations of a person's distorted desires that work like dungeon puzzles where you sneak past shadows or fight them in turn-based battles. The combat focuses on hitting enemy weaknesses to knock them down and trigger devastating all-out attacks. Your relationships with other characters form confidant bonds that give you gameplay benefits like new abilities in battle or more options in daily life.
It's been a while since we last fought, but this time...
Sona! Go down!
And there you have it, the top 30 JRPGs available right now on Nintendo Switch. From classic remasters to brand new adventures, these games offer stories and worlds that'll keep you hooked for hours. Which of these games are you most excited to try? Let me know in the comments. And if I missed any of your favorite JRPGs, share those too. I'm always looking for new games to play. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to SwitchTop for more Nintendo Switch content every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.